Hello. Today will not let me be great. So many things are just not working in my favor today. But anyway, I decided I would give you an update on my palette of the week. So this week I am using the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. And it is said to be complexion inspired. Now, this palette has really cute packaging. It's really simple. It's like hard plastic, and it has kind of the shades here on the palette itself. It's really thin, which I can appreciate, and it doesn't take up much space. Even though this palette has 16 shades, I find that it's still relatively compact. So I really like that we're able to get 16 shades without having to take up a ton of real estate in the palette. Now, 8 of the shades are shimmer shades, and the other 8 are mattes. The shimmer shades are in the square pans, and the matte shades are in the rectangular pans. Also, there is a mirror, and it does have Too Faced written across the top, just to remind you if you all know. If you all know, okay? So, I have been using this palette this week, and I have used a good majority of the shades. Now, as someone with a deeper skin tone, there are some shades that work a lot better for me from this palette, and then there are some shades that they just don't. Now, this palette, my sister and my mom, did everybody? My family bought this palette for me. My sister was supposed to send it to me right after they bought it, right? Child, why did she send it about 3 months later? I was like, girl, really? Anyway, so it's a pretty neutral, natural palette. I actually have it on my eyes today. And one of the reasons why I decided to wear this palette today is because I had a meeting, sort of like a consultation meeting where people want me to present on certain things and blah, blah, blah. You don't care. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that I was like looking put together, and it didn't feel like wearing one of my like bright pink looks was the thing to go with today. So I decided to go with this palette. Now I'm going to swatch a couple of these shades so that you can see. One thing that I've learned about this palette is that if you want that immediate boom pow, you're probably not going to get that from this palette. The formula as well as the shades are very buildable though, so that I can appreciate. So for this look here, I did have to build up the shimmers in particular. I didn't really have to build up the deeper matte shades, but again, this is coming from someone of a deeper skin tone. If you are a lighter skin tone, you may not have to do all of that. But yeah, so I want to give you an idea of how some of these shades show up on me. So I think what I will do is I will go into rose gold, which is this shimmer here, and just give you an idea of how that shows up on me. Just doing a finger swatch in the palette and putting it on the back of my hand. That is one swatch there, as you can see. Now, like I told you, you can build it up, right? So I'm going to do another swatch and a third swatch, just so you can see how the intensity changes. And there you go. So I really feel like there's a huge difference from one swatch, or one like finger swatch, like here, and building it up a bit. Let's see, one of the lighter colors. So that's sort of like a mid-tone color. It almost seems like it's sort of like if you are of a lighter skin tone, use these. Medium to tan, use these. And then deeper, girl, just stick with these two over here. Too Faced. Okay, so let's go into probably the lightest shade, which is Glistening Snow. I am going to take that on my finger here. So there it is. And So that is one swipe of glistening snow. Now, let's try to build it up. So I'm going to do a new swipe so that I can build it up. That is 2 swipes, and then here is 3. So as you can see, the top one, that's 1 swipe, and the bottom is 3 swipes. So there is a difference in terms of the intensity of pigment. Now the colors in here are very neutral, natural, like I mentioned. I really like the shades, especially the pinks and the golds. And I've been able to use some of these lighter shades despite them not necessarily being the best for my skin tone. Like I want to go into Swan, which is this kind of bone color here. And one thing is that the shadows are very, very smooth. Let's see if I can put that here. So here is that Swan shade. As you can see, it's super light on me. It's sort of ashy. So it's not a shade that I would typically like wear a ton of, but let's contrast that with Truffle, which is the deepest shade here. And I'm going to put that on the other hand. So that goes pretty deep. So you can see the lightest shade in the palette and the deepest shade in the palette. So yeah, as I've used this palette, I've come to like it even more. Initially, especially because of feeling like I had to like build stuff up a bit. I was like, okay, I don't know about this. But yeah, I've been liking it. Let me see if I can actually build on what I already have. So I'm going to go into Sparkling Sable, which is this shade here, and just kind of touch up what I've got going on. And I know I'm not slick. Y'all see this new brush, right? I'm gonna tell you about it in a second. And what else did I go into today? I think I might have gone into this shade here, which is Sugared Chestnut. I could be wrong though. I think I'm right. So I'm just taking that on the other side of the brush and building it up a little bit. I think I'm also going to add some Golden Light, this shade here, just because it's pretty. And that's kind of how I do things in life. So it is building up, but I do think that maybe the best way to work with these shadows is your finger. At least for the shimmers. You can see that that brightens it up a little bit. Hopefully you can see. And then I'm also going to just go in and deepen the crease just a tad, and I'm going to take Truffle, which is that lightest, or I'm sorry, the darkest shade. And then to blend it out a bit more, I'm going to go back and forth between Seashell and Nude, which are these two, these two shades here. So just gonna go back and forth. Just to help me blend out the Truffle shade a bit more. I'm also going to take that Truffle shade again, that deep shade, and just apply it on the lash line. Sparkle. Oh, you're not gonna come off, huh? Okay. other thing is that I sort of kept it in the Too Faced family this week for some reason, and the foundation that I have been using, I've actually been mixing two. So I have been mixing the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. It is oil-free, claims to have 14-hour wear, oil control, and photo-friendly. It also is infused with peach and sweet big cream. I have this in the shade Cocoa. Now, this is one that is being phased out from what I can understand. The entire Peach Perfect line is going bye-bye. But I still have this, so I want to finish it. And I paired it with the Born This Way Match Foundation, which is said to have 24-hour wear. It's undetectable and super long wear. It also is stated to be oil-free, oil-controlling, waterproof, and transfer resistant. Now, I'm not rubbing my face up against anybody, so I don't know about the transfer resistant part. But if you're like rubbing your face on somebody or something or anything, it's gonna come off. Like all makeup does that, right? But I do find that these two foundations stay on pretty well throughout the day. And I'm guessing that if they're not gonna like revamp the peach line or Peach Perfect line, a good option would be for you to go to the Born This Way foundation. Now, I have the matte one. I have not tried the original Born This Way, but because I have oily skin and I like for my makeup to last you know, throughout the day without having to touch up too much in between patients and things like that, I prefer like a matte long wear foundation. Now, I have the shade Cocoa in the Peach Perfect, and I have the shade Tiramisu in the Born This Way matte. I really like them together. I also like them individually, but I kind of felt like being extra in mixing things. I'm also working on finishing my Peach Perfect powder. This is in the shade Caramelized Peach. This is about as much as I have left. I actually took the sifter out because it was getting harder to get the product out. So that should be finishing soon. Can't repurchase it because, you know, stuff is going bye-bye. And then the other thing that I did is for my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, I'm finishing this up. I did take the stopper out, and the thing with taking the stopper out is that then there's nothing to stop some of the product from coming out. So what I did was just take a spatula and pour or put the rest of the concealer in this little pot here. So now I'm just using a small brush to put the concealer on. I have 4 minutes. Now, the other things that I've been using, love them. This is the Sky set. So I've got the Classic Crease, the Flat Definer, the Jumbo Blender, the Soft Shader, and the Mini Booster. Now, this next part that I'm going to say might be a little controversial, but I blame someone for the fact that I also picked up the Pro set. Let me tell you why. I'm going to blame Tracy. Tracy, if you're watching, I'm blaming you because Tracy said that she had both. All of a sudden, I have both. I don't know how it happened. I'm not claiming ownership or responsibility. So, the Pro set, I have the Pencil Pro, the Blender Pro, I'm sorry, the Builder Pro. Come on, get it right, girl. The Blender Pro, Crease Pro, and Worker Pro. I'm also just going to put it out there that I'm loving Sonia G brushes a bit more than all of my other natural hair brushes. Just the messenger telling you how amazing they are. I would honestly get rid of all of my other natural hair brushes and just use Sonia G. I would do it in a second. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't need to, but I would do it. Anyways, I think that's it, y'all. I have 1 minute before my next patient, so I got to go. But thank you so much for watching. Like the video. I hope this helps, and I will see you next time.